What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is your girl, LaRhonda Marie, and this is another segment of What's Going On. And I have a great guest today that I'm excited to interview. As always, get the best experiences doing being a correspondent for Swag Her because they have some of the best women I've ever met. So this is another great woman that we'll get to speak with today. But during my broadcast, you can support this page by sending stars a digital gift that helps us earn money. We will use our stars to hire more journalists and content creators while supporting other Black-owned businesses, hoping to create an ecosystem that brings about success for all involved. If you find value in the content, send your stars today and tell a friend about this page. And as you get online, definitely let me know that you're online. Let me know where you're from. I'd love to know. I haven't visited every state or definitely every city in the United States. So I'd love to know where everyone is from, what's going on in your area. Um, and again, as you come on, please hit that share button. Definitely. So the more people that can be involved in our conversation, the better. All right. And I'm just gonna check and see if my guest is ready. Give me thumbs up if you're ready to come online. All right, I'm getting the thumbs up, so I'm gonna go ahead to the stage. Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am fine. I am so fine. I didn't want to say your second last name. I didn't want to mispronounce that.
I get it all the time. It's Philippus.
Philip. Okay, Philippus. Okay, so we got Miss Diana Richardson-Phillipus
Yes.
today joining us on What's Going On. So what's going on?
Listen, it is amazing. It's a great week. There's a plethora of things going on, but I'm happy to be here. I thank you guys for having me on the show today.
We appreciate any time we can get, especially when we have someone with all of your experience. And so, anytime we can, audience, you are just as important as my special guest today. If you have any questions that I know I'm not going to cover everything, go ahead and let us know what you want to hear from Miss Diana Richardson. You said Philippus.
Philippus.
Philippus. And so give us a little introduction. I have mine, but I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself, Elise.
Okay, well, my name is Diana Richardson-Phillipus. I am the CEO and founder of Empowered Women Empower, and I help women entrepreneurs to brand, build, and bank their brilliance in a nutshell.
I love that. I love that. And so we're going to talk so much more. We're going to have Miss Diana expound on what she means by that, because you're busy. You're very, very, very busy. Um, as you can see, I do have ticking at the bottom if you want to get in touch with her. Definitely throughout this conversation, jot the information down. Um, this is how I have her contact, her Instagram, her social media, as well as her website. So that information is there at the bottom of the screen. But I just so tell me a little bit about just young Diana Richardson.
Ooh.
Let's start there first. Who is
Well,
she?
young Diana,
Yes.
uh, I had a very humble beginning. Let me say that. I came from a loving family, but on that journey, it was filled with a little bit, or should I say, a lot of depression. I dropped out of high school in the 11th grade, right?
Mm.
Went on to get my GED. From there, went on to college, and from there, master's degrees, so on and so forth. But what I will say is that, because of all the trauma that I did incur in my childhood, such as, witnessing domestic abuse and, you know, um, having parents that were on drugs and things like that, I had a history of depression that wasn't diagnosed at the time. It was just
Right.
displaying itself through, my actions, not wanting to go to school, even though I was excelling in school while I was there. So I will say that during that time when I just didn't want to go to school, my uncle at the time, because the whole family was like, Diana, what's going on? And he said, you know what? If you don't want to go to school, Diana, just get your GED and go on to college. Because I always wanted to go to college. I just didn't want to go to high school
Deal
anymore.
with that.
I don't know, So when he said that to me, I just remember like a light bulb going off in my head, like, okay, I'll get a GED and I'll go to college. And so that's exactly what I did. But, it wasn't until I was in college that I did realize that, there's something still going on within me, and it was depression. So, after years of dealing with that, trial and error, still pressing forward, I ended up getting some help in the form of, therapy and things like that to bring things full circle to me. And it was in that moment, that I realized that, Diana, this is a lot bigger than you. It didn't come full circle at that time, but it was bigger. I felt the tug on me during that time. To be honest, in grad school, I actually did my thesis on women's empowerment. Go figure.
Wow.
And it wasn't until years, many moons later, that this movement of Empowered Women Empowered was born.
I love that.
And,
I love to know the background, because
oh
there's
yeah.
always a why we do what we do or what made us become. Because I know you were in corporate America. I know this from your bio. So talking about that, you left corporate America and quickly grew your first business into 4 retail stores. First of all, what 4 retail stores did you grow?
Well, I am in beauty supply stores. I'm in California, I'm in Georgia, and I'm in Dallas, right?
Okay.
So what happened with that journey, that is so interesting because I always had a knack for entrepreneurship, right? As so many women do, and men. I'm not going to leave them out, okay? So I like to make stuff. I always did. So I would make baskets and I would do all sorts of things. And then I started making makeup. So it started out with bronzer and I would wear it to work. And people would say, "Oh, Diana, your skin looks so glowy. And what is that?" And I was like, "Oh, well, that's just a little bit of bronzer." "Oh, which one is it? Where'd you get it from?" I was like, "No, well, I made it." And they would be looking at me like, "You made it?" "Yeah, I made it." So they'd be like, well, let me get one. So I was like, okay.
Wow.
Not even realizing that this is a
A
business. I was
side
doing it for
hustle,
me.
right?
Exactly. I was just doing it for me. Then I started making little lotions and moisturizers. And then I started selling that. And so it wasn't until I got laid off in corporate America. That's a whole corporate accountant for a very long time. They decided that they wanted to downsize. Okay, no problem after I've been here for years, but whatever. It was during that moment that I realized that I will never rely on another employer for my livelihood. I just said that, you know what? I prayed over it. God told me that this was the angle that I was supposed to go in, which was Bronze Glow Beauty Organic Cosmetics, and I got to work. I got to work. I added lip
Wow.
glosses to my repertoire and I really began just moving it. And so during that time, I always knew that this particular cosmetic, while it's luxury, I wanted it to be accessible for the everyday woman. Because let's keep it real. Anything organic, you about to pay an arm and a leg 9 times out of 10 for it. And I wanted it to be centralized to a locations where every woman goes to. I was like, "Diana, where do you go all the time?" And I'm like, "I go to the beauty supply store. Like, I love me a good beauty. I need my hair products, all the things." So I started going into the beauty supply stores. I had my little kit and
Right.
my little demos, and I was like, "Look, this is what I
Wow.
got." It wasn't packaged pretty. I was making it at home, getting my packaging from Amazon. But I said, you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way.
Wow.
And that's how it actually started. And
Wow.
so I went into my first retailer in under a year of being in business.
Wow. Wow. Just by opening up your mouth and asking, hey, do you
Amen.
mind? Wow, that's awesome. So, um, you were able to transform. So you left corporate America because you were downsized, and so you went into this is what you did full time to support yourself.
Yes, this is what I did full time to support myself. And no, it wasn't easy at first. Okay, it was not easy. But I knew that I needed to take a leap of faith. And during that time, I was able to figure certain things out because guess what? We don't know what we don't know.
Right.
I learned by trial and error. I
Mm.
really did. And one of the things that I did to couple that with going into these retailers is I began doing pop-up shops for myself,
Okay.
all centralized around my product.
Right.
And so it was through that experience
Mm.
that I began to have other women who were like, "Oh, well, can I come with you?" And I said, yeah, come
Mm-mm.
on, and so then another movement began after I started doing
Wow.
bigger pop-up shops where I was bringing in other women and I had some men that were joining as well. And during those moments, during my pop ups, I found myself teaching them how to network, teaching them how to interact with customers,
Mm.
teaching them how to get people engaged with their brand to bring exposure. And so it was through that process that I quickly realized that this is so much bigger than Bronze Glow Beauty Organic Cosmetics.
Right.
It really was. And it was in that moment that I named that business Empowered Women Empower. And it took on a whole life bigger than what I could have ever imagined. It
Wow.
really was. And I was through this company, I'm able to teach women all the things that I didn't know, because I learned the hard way. And
Right.
I said
Wow.
that if I can help, any woman,
Mm.
which I've helped thousands now to build brand and bank,
Mm.
with proven methodologies, because it works if you work it.
That's what I was that was a great segue into Brandon Bank because so what kind of clarity does it offer to entrepreneurs who feel overwhelmed?
Mm. So, Brand to Bank is an ebook guide that I have now. I always say we, but it's me because I put it together. But that I initiated because I found that a lot of people need a general synopsis of what it is that I'm talking about right off the bat. So, what in the Brand to Bank, what you're going to learn first of all is the brand clarity formula. Because I like to tell people, when you think about brand, right? Everybody always associates, me too in the beginning, brand with, okay, well, I need a logo and I need a website,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all about the business. But in all actuality, it's not. Branding starts with you. It's about having a keen understanding of who you are, what you do, and who you're serving. And so in Brand to Bank, we really break that down for the consumer and the customer, because it's vital that you understand that, because you can't scale and build without it. So the brand clarity formula is going to help you to understand and to articulate, right, who you are,
Right.
what you do, and who you're doing it for with a simple formula. From there, we go into teaching you how to really position that into an offer, whether it's product based or service based. It's still the same, and you have to have it. And I feel like, no, I don't feel like, I know that there's so many, the marketplace is extremely oversaturated, right? With a plethora of coaches and consultants. And that's fine. A lot of them are amazing. Don't get me wrong. But one thing that I quickly realized on this journey is that there's so many consultants and coaches that are catering to the higher ticket client, right? The one that has a keen understanding to what it is to brand and to build, and they're trying to break the bank of going above six figures, or maybe even seven figures. Whereas these women who are stuck in that messy middle, right? And I call
Mm-hmm.
the messy middle those who are not breaking that 5K to 10K a month.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
Mm-hmm.
plethora of them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're left behind a lot of the time, not having a keen understanding how to build this dream, this vision, and this business that they're beginning. And so
Right.
I saw a gap, in the
Mm-hmm.
industry right now, and I decided to fill it because there's a lot of gatekeeping, and I said, no more, no more.
I love that. That stuck out in your bio where you said many women get stuck between starting and scaling. What does uh they have a messy middle? And I was just gonna ask, what does that mean to you? So you did. There was a great explanation of it. It is a lot of us that are stuck in that messy middle,
Yeah.
because at a certain age, especially if you're a single woman,
Yes.
you want to make sure that you have enough. You're secure. I remember when I was in my 20s and somebody told me something in their 40s. They were like, well, when you're that age, you're thinking about love. But when you get in your 40s, you start thinking about security.
Come on now. Come on.
And so it was something to, I'm paraphrasing, but
No,
I
it's
totally
fine.
get it. I totally get it at the age that I am now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love, there is a need for that. And I love that you said that it's not a high end. I'm not looking at for the high end customer. I'm looking for the one in the middle. I love that because a lot of times we think that things are not in our reach because of our budgeting. But we have so much more that, so much, just like you were doing. You was just making makeup. You was just trying to find something good for yourself, and it became a business. So
Yes.
we just never know what God, I'm a Christian, so I'm always say
A-
what God has in store for his children.
Amen.
So
Yes, yes.
I love that your annual conference, the Women in Business Networking Conference, has become a powerful space for connection. What inspired that event, and what makes it different from other conferences?
Well, this was all sparked by my business, Empowered Women Empower. And what I wanted to do was continue to build out a space, a safe space for women, right? That was solely built upon empowerment and a heavy emphasis on networking and that collaboration and business building, right? We all know that there are 100 million conferences that are empowerment.
Right.
However, I said that I wanted true empowerment, right? I have a saying that, real queens fix each other's crowns.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was important for me when I created this particular platform for this conference that I had women coming in that understood this assignment, and that not only understood it, but were aligned with it. And so with the Women in Business Networking Conference, we bring the best of the best from around the world. We come into a space for one day, because it is a
Mm-hmm.
one-day conference, but it's an all-day conference. And
Mm-hmm.
when I say that we are business building, we are pouring, we are sharing, we have workshops, we have the works, right? And when I tell you that the transformation that comes out of that room it really amazes me every year, and it makes my heart so overwhelmed and so full, because this
Okay.
is what I want.
Right.
It's important for women, especially in this day and time that we're in right now.
Yeah.
It's time to pull together. It's time to learn. It's time to collaborate. It's time to build, and it's time to leave legacy.
I love that. I love when women can get together, because we have such a stereotype that we can be catty and we can be cliquish, and we can. With that we can be also, but we also can empower and
Yeah.
inspire each other. And I love what you're doing, because what that does is just spread that energy more than the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other energy. Now you said it's a one day conference. Now, do
Mhm.
you go throughout do you go to different places? Is it just virtual, or how is it? How is it
Oh
set up?
no, this is a 1 day in-person conference and it's
Okay.
based in Atlanta.
Okay.
It started here. I've had requests, to take it on the road, but I said no, I'm going to leave it here in Atlanta. And we have, the women that fly on in, come on in and see us. I don't know where the people are this viewing. Come see us in March. It's March every year. We don't have the date yet for this
Okay.
upcoming March, but I imagine it'll be the middle of March as it always is. But yes, it's amazing. It's amazing.
So after the conference, what do you guys network still offline? How is that? What happens after the conference? How do you guys stay connected?
So after the conference, absolutely, I'm big on connection. So I'm easily, well, I don't want to say easily accessible, but I'm approachable and accessible. You can drop me something on Instagram. Look, I'll respond. But what happens is the connections that are made, yes, we stay in contact throughout the year.
Hmm.
There's workshops, there's different things, to keep you engaged, to keep you motivated. There's different tools that are imparted during the conference to keep the participants engaged and together.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Guys, I hear you're preparing for a book tour in Atlanta, Orlando, and Houston.
Yes, yes,
What are
yes.
you most excited about doing this next chapter?
Ooh, well, there's a lot going on, but yes, we do have a book tour coming up. It actually starts here in Atlanta this weekend. So I
Okay.
have two locations in Atlanta. I'll be at the Barnes and Nobles in Beaufort, Georgia,
Okay.
on the 2nd. On the 9th, I'll be at the Books a Million in Peachtree City.
Okay.
And then from there, we go to Orlando, Florida, to the Barnes and Noble. And I'm not sure where the address is there, but
Got
it's
you.
in Orlando. And then from there, we go to Houston on August 23rd. So I'm just really excited about getting out and meeting the people. Like I'm very, I'm just a people person, right? I love to talk. I love, to help and empower anyone that I can. And this book tour is a long time coming. I wanted to slow down some and actually to make this happen because I feel like it's needed, right? It's one
Right.
thing just for people to purchase my books, but it's another to see me in person, to have the capability
Right.
to talk to me, about it. And for me to get a chance to meet the people.
People. That's right. I love that. And guys, y'all need to come out in great numbers so that she'll be encouraged to have some other locations for her women's conference so that we can
Yes,
be
come
a little
on.
bit closer. Houston is closer. I'm in Oklahoma City. So
All right.
Houston is a little bit closer. But yes, I love that. I love everything that you have going on. So the book tour now, is it the ebook that you're touring with, or did I not get it?
No.
What's the book
This
that you're
these are my
touring with?
authored books. So it's the Strategize, Skills, Succeed,
Okay.
my passion to profit, and my transformation that I'm touring with right now. Those are my three
Okay.
best-selling books.
Okay. Those are my apologies. I did
No,
not
it's
put that in
fine.
my notes. But those are the three books that those are all sound like great. A lot of good information, guys.
Oh,
So on your website, I do have your website up, so you should be able to see what dates again she will be in Houston, Orlando, and of course her beautiful city of Atlanta. I just left Atlanta for the Cowboy Carter tour.
all right
So
now.
I was just there just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
We enjoyed ourselves. Atlanta is so Atlanta. That's all me and my daughters were saying. That's just so Atlanta.
Yes, it is.
So we had a great time. Anything else that you want to leave the people?
Hey, listen, everyone, stay encouraged, stay motivated. If you are in that messy middle, you know what? There's nothing wrong with seeking the people, places, and things that to help you when you don't know.
I
You
agree.
know, it takes that. You can come out of it. You can. I always tell people to stay the course, keep pressing toward the mark. By all means, get your brand to bank Okay, and
I
get them
love it.
pillars down.
Get
And hey, reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Let's talk
I love
about it.
that. How has your experience been with Swag Her?
It's been amazing.
I
It's
love
been
to hear that.
amazing.
Good,
I appreciate you guys. I really
good.
do.
I'm glad to hear it. Another great, again, they send us the best interviews. Doing amazing things. I appreciate everything you're doing for the community
Thank
and for the culture and for women.
thank you
And
so
if a
much. I
few
appreciate
men get blessed along the way, we don't mind that either.
exactly,
We don't
exactly.
mind that either. But you have I'm gonna give you the rest of your day back. But thank you so much and be blessed.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, guys. Oh my goodness. So make sure that you jot down Miss Diana's websites, her Instagram. I have both her Facebook, her Instagram pages, um, all of her information. But definitely just take down the website. That'll have everything. And don't forget to share this page, share this conversation. Just share. Uh, it could be some people in the Houston and the Orlando and Atlanta area that can make it to some of those dates that she gave us. But at nothing else, go ahead and take down that website and just like her on Facebook and on Instagram. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm out.